royal fans are convinced Meghan Markle is lying about her age. In fact, they think she's older. And not a surprise here because, yeah, she lies a lot about her
whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secret. But a lawyer says Meghan didn't lie. Well, extraordinary how the whole thing is unraveling.
And yet they don't produce.
I'm not happy with what one of my daughters is doing. And I don't know what caused her to do this. We've had this conversation before. She's telling lies.
They use their friends, their lawyer, academics who have always backed their side.
What if the real scandal isn't what Meghan did, but when she did it? That's the question blowing up royal WhatsApp groups tonight. Because according to royal biographer Tom Bower and a dusty old teen magazine, there might be 6 missing years in Meghan Markle's life story. 6. Not 6 months, 6 years. On paper, Meghan is 44. Born August 4th, 1981. That's the date printed on palace press releases, glossy biographies, fan sites, the official royal version. But then Tom Bower pulls out a 1997 magazine, page 90, a casting-style list. And right there it says Meghan Markle, age 21. Tiny problem. If she was born in 1981, she should have been 15 in 1997, not 21. That's not a typo. That's a different life. Now, add this. Her own father, Thomas Markle, quietly saying the dates he remembers from raising her don't match the palace script either. Age gaps, birth stories that don't track, a hospital timeline doctors are calling medically impossible. If the age is fuzzy and the birth doesn't add up, what else in this fairy tale got edited? Stay with me, because once you see these receipts, you will never look at this modern princess story the same way again.
And it would only make sense that she might lie about this. Would it be such a big deal? Is it true? Well, thankfully, Steph the Alternate has compiled a slideshow. Let's actually get to the truth of this issue, and it's a surprise. Here we go.
When most people hear Meghan Markle, they picture the highlight reel, the Hollywood actress, the global feminist, the woman who married a prince and broke the palace. The public trailer looks perfect, but behind the scenes, the paperwork is starting to glitch. Enter Tom Bower, not a TikTok theorist in a basement, a professional biographer, a man who actually reads archives instead of reposting them. And then there's Thomas Markle, the dad who remembers school plays, auditions, graduations, because he was literally there holding the camcorder. On one side, the official royal bio. On the other, a father's memory and a forgotten magazine page. One says born 1981, another says 21 in 1997. Dad says, that's not how I remember those years. Wait, what? And just when that's messy enough, Meghan's story adds another layer. A cinematic royal birth at Portland Hospital, candles, epidurals, and a 2-hour turnaround back to Frogmore Cottage that doctors keep calling fantasy. It's not one weird detail, it's a pattern. And patterns in royal PR, they rarely happen by accident.
A lot of people, though, say that Samantha Markle had since revealed Megsy's true age in her court documents as part of the defamation suit against her that's happening. This is false. Here you can see that Samantha is 58 years old, born in 1964. The court documents from Samantha, she confirms there is a 17-year difference in age, which would make Meghan's year of birth being 1981. So,
first, the magazine that refused to stay quiet. March 1997, 17 magazine. Teen girls flipping through it on school buses, completely unaware they're holding a future royal scandal. Page 90, a tiny line. Meghan Markle, age 21. But here's the twist. If she was truly born in 1981, like the palace swears, Meghan would have been 15 that spring, not 21, not rounded up, not even close. That's a 6-year leap. You don't accidentally collect 6 extra birthdays like loyalty points. And this wasn't written after she became famous. This was printed long before anyone cared about a Duchess of Sussex. So the question becomes, who got the age wrong? The palace, the press, or Meghan herself?
So when Meghan came along into the scene, I just thought, this is fascinating. How is this going to play out? To tell the truth, I spoke to very few friends of Meghan because she put a fatwa on anyone talking to me who she could.
Next, the father who didn't forget his daughter's life. Thomas Markle doesn't need Wikipedia to remember his daughter's life. He remembers being there, buying her first car, paying school fees, watching her claw her way into acting. But the ages tied to those memories, they don't match the royal timeline. Graduations feel off. Those first big roles sound older. Parents forget what year you lost a tooth. They don't forget an entire 6-year slice of your life. And when a father quietly hints his daughter isn't as young as the palace insists, the internet doesn't ignore it. It leans in.
Are you worried that Harry and Meghan might end up suing you for something you say, given you know they're very friendly with their lawyers, aren't they?
Well, they can sue me, but what are they going to get?
Then comes the 2 conflicting birth years. The official version, born 1981. That makes her 44 in 2025. It's on royal letterhead, in documentaries, in every polished bio. But if she was truly 21 in 1997, then she's not mid-40s. She's pushing 50. And in Hollywood and royal PR, 6 years isn't small. It's the difference between fresh talent and aging out, between a glowing late 30s pregnancy and a clinically high-risk one. You're not just changing a number, you're changing the entire narrative. And all of this becomes even more important once we get to Portland Hospital.
6 hours of lies. They would be absolutely hounded out.
No balance.
Not in their balance, no truth.
Now the birth story that sounds more like a movie. In Spare, Harry describes Archie's arrival like a spa day. Candles, birthing balls, 2 epidurals. Then somehow, they're home at Frogmore just 2 hours after delivery. Doctors and midwives read that and nearly spilled their tea. Epidurals don't work like coffee refills. You don't say, "I'll have another." It's a single catheter, continuously adjusted. What Harry described isn't medical reality. It reads like a script. And here's the part people miss. If Meghan was actually in her early 40s, not 30s, this wasn't a casual birth. It was automatically high risk.
You can't beat the real story. I mean, that's the excitement of writing these sort of books, that in the end, nothing beats the truth, the real facts.
Now, I hear lots of people, I disagree with them, but I hear lots of people saying, oh, what more damage can he do? But I think you think this book could be even worse.
And finally, the timeline professionals call impossible. The drive from Portland Hospital to Frogmore Cottage alone can take an hour, sometimes longer. But Harry claims the entire sequence, the birth, the recovery, vital checks, newborn procedures, paperwork, getting dressed, plus that 1-hour drive, all happened in 2 hours total. Oh, and this was after 2 epidurals. Most women with a standard epidural can't feel their legs for at least an hour. High-risk mothers? They stay under observation for days, not minutes. So when doctors analyzed this timeline, their verdict was simple: medically impossible. And yet, somehow, that wasn't even the strangest part.
Family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling. And it would only make sense that she might lie about this. It wouldn't be such a big deal.
Once those details hit the internet, social media did what it does best. One tweet, so she was 21 and 15 at the same time? Multiverse of Meghan confirmed. Another, 2 epidurals, home in 2 hours, high-risk pregnancy, my OB just rage quit. A TikTok creator duets a clip of Harry describing the birth, then pauses and goes, my sister's epidural took longer to wear off than this entire royal timeline. Reddit threads map out both timelines side by side, the 1981 version versus the implied 1975-76 version. Everywhere you look, people keep repeating one line. I'm not saying she's lying, but the math ain't mathing. And honestly, would you believe her if you saw that clip? Comment below, because when the receipts are this visual, magazine scans, old photos, Google Maps, hospital protocols, it's not just messy vibes anymore. It starts to feel like a case file.
So let's examine what's out there. This is a copy of 17 magazine, and it was published in March of 1997. In it, it mentions our Megzy is from Los Angeles and that she was 21 years old at the time of publication.
This isn't just gossip about a birthday and a baby. This hits at credibility. If your age is fuzzy, if your birth story reads like fan fiction, people stop asking, is she being misunderstood? They start asking, what else was edited? Hollywood loves a scandal, but it hates unpredictable scandals. The kind where receipts keep surfacing from old archives and hospital corridors. Inside the palace, the stakes are even higher. Royal reputations are built on records, christening certificates, court circulars, official registers. If one duchess looks like she's playing fast and loose with the timeline, it makes the institution look gullible at best. Because this isn't just messy PR. If doctors are right, and that birth timeline truly couldn't have happened the way it was described, then somebody chose optics over accuracy. And once the public smells that, trust doesn't just crack, it shatters. And we still haven't even touched the biggest question.
Described herself as Caucasian rather than biracial. Everyone took this document as being real. Well, if you think that, you need to keep the same energy.
This isn't the first time a glamorous story fell apart because of boring details. Tiger Woods had texts. Armie Hammer had screenshots. Celebrities fall, not because of the headline, but because the receipts won't shut up. Here, the receipts aren't spicy DMs. They're dates, numbers, distances on a map, medical protocols. If a 6-year age gap can quietly sit between a royal bio and a 1997 magazine, if a high-risk birth can be repackaged as a spa day with an impossible 2-hour turnaround, then you have to ask, if they can hide 6 years and smooth over a birth, what else did they rewrite? The pregnancies? The health scares? The we almost didn't make it stories that tugged on heartstrings and headlines? Because some parts of life are written in ink, birth certificates, hospital logs, archived magazines, and some parts are written in pencil, easily erased, redrawn to fit the new narrative. Right now, Meghan's story looks like both, and the more people zoom in, the more those pencil lines start to show.
I think there's a lot more about the whole institutions of British government, and I think something of the Queen as well. I mean, what he's...
So let's recap in 3 lines. A 1997 magazine says Meghan was 21 when she should have been 15. Her father's memories clash with the polished palace timeline. And a royal birth story reads like a script doctors say couldn't happen. What do you think? Is this one giant misunderstanding or a carefully edited origin story that finally sprung a leak? Drop your theory in the comments. Age, birth, or both? Which part do you think is the biggest red flag? And if you love scandals served cold, subscribe. This story's just getting started.